Hey everyone, Dr. Marc Supernaut here in Charlotte, North Carolina, here with Family Healing Chiropractic and MaxLiving. Behind the scenes, I've got Dr. Ali Day on behind the scenes. I also got Keisha Morrison. She's actually helped me back at the office as well. So hope you guys are having a great and blessed day. We're going to be talking about the immune system. And this is a workshop that we were actually going to do at PF Chang's tonight, and we do this dinner with a doc once a month. And so because of the times and what's going on right now, this is what we get. And so I actually like it because this gives an opportunity. I always look at the positive side of it. Gives us opportunity to be able to reach more people. So I will tell you the three things that I am going to cover today is number one, I want to teach you guys how to think for yourself. I know there's a lot of information, a lot of misinformation. I know I've been challenged many times on social media and challenged through the media and everything else. So there's a lot of information, a lot of misinformation. But my biggest thing is I want to teach you, number one, how to think. Number two, the biggest question I'm getting asked right now is what supplements would you take with what's going on and how to boost your immune system. I'm going to talk to you guys about that today and give you actually an opportunity to text in and go to our store. If you text that word immune to the number below, it'll actually send you to what our best immune bundle that I'm recommending right now as well. And then number three is that why chiropractic would be wise. And with the chiropractic aspect of it, if you're here in Charlotte, if you're local, we're actually open. We're seen as essential. We're actually still seeing new patients. Over this weekend, I've got multiple texts, multiple calls, people that are hurting, the patterns that you're used to in your normal life, the way that you're sleeping, the stress that you're having, all the stuff that's going on, it's changed in the last 3 weeks for everybody. And people are calling me saying, I'm working from home, I'm not on my ergonomic desk. And so I'm going to give you an opportunity to be able to make an appointment to the office and get more information how to get checked up by texting the word consult to the number that you see below, 704-540-0055. So I know it's tough times right now. I know there's a lot of crazy stuff going on. I know a lot of you guys are super positive. I know a lot of you guys are super negative. I want to just help you guys again today, teach you guys how to learn how to think for yourself. I do want to start not making light of what's going on, but I do want to start with this. Some of you guys have had a chance to see this, and I don't know if you can read that. This is my 8-year-old daughter. She's going to hate the fact that I'm actually going to read this to you. But she wrote this letter to coronavirus, and you guys can see this down below. It says, from Sophie to coronavirus. But so you guys know, some of you guys don't know me, I have 4 girls. They're 16, 14, actually one turns 15 this week, 16, 14, 11, and 8. I have a wife who's a chiropractor as well. Some of you guys don't know that. So pray for me and send money and donations for weddings, please. But I want to read this to you guys because it kind of helps you understand through the eyes of an 8-year-old what's going on. And I know a lot of you guys actually feel this too. And she goes, dear coronavirus, can you understand that I just want to do my things that I want to do? Please go away. I just want to go somewhere for my birthday. So please go somewhere else than my home so I can go places with my friends and mom. So please just go away. I don't know why she just singled out mom and not me. She must like her better. I miss how things were before. I miss the way things were when you weren't here. I want to hang out with my friends and family. Hi, coronavirus. My name is Sophie, and a lot of other people that are worrying about you are scared of you. So please leave me and my family alone. Please, coronavirus. I am so sad. So please understand that I want to be alone for once. And so that's from Sophie, my little 8-year-old wrote that. Again, like I said, I want to teach you guys how to think today. And so in that process today, I'm going to actually go through some slides for you guys, talk about some information. I'm actually going to show you a video here early on about the immune system and how it works. I think it's just a video that kind of is very well done. But, you know, just a little bit about me. Like I already told you guys, I've been in Charlotte now for 16 years. For the last 14 years, I've also worked for MaxLiving, helping other chiropractors set up their offices and do their thing and do their stuff. So like I said, we've been here in Charlotte for a long time. I love being here. I love Charlotte. But tonight is going to be really about how do we get to the bottom of really what the immune system is all about. And there's a natural immune response that you have in your body. The immune system is absolutely amazing. And we all have, and I was listening and reading something over lunch today, and the guy was saying Bruce Lipton. If you guys never heard of Bruce Lipton, write that name down. He's got this book called Biology of Belief, and it just like flips the whole world upside down about how the biology of the human body actually works. And so he talked about the immune system, how it's so amazing that constantly we have viruses and bacteria and we have parasites and we have all these invaders in our body at all times. And what happens is that these invaders come in, and the body, if it's strong, if the immune system's strong, which it is, the way that God designed us and the way that God built our bodies, the immune system's super, super strong, and it knows how to fight against these things. It's when the body's immune system becomes weakened, that's when we start to have problems. And so, that's why we want to keep this immune system super strong. And that's why I said, I want to show you this video, kind of help you guys understand a little bit more about what goes on as far as the human body from the inside. So give me 1 second, pull it up. I know the audio on this is not going to be great, but it's well worth listening to. Let me just pull it up here in the Chrome tab. Good. All right. You might have to adjust your volume a little bit.
Every second of your life, you are under attack. Billions of bacteria, viruses, and fungi are trying to make you their home. So our bodies...
Sorry about the ad. Didn't know there was going to be an ad. Hold on.
When you play something like The Sims, the player is actually the one building the rule set. Okay?
All right, here we go. That's what happens.
And communicators to protect you from, dying. For this video, let's assume the immune system has 12 different jobs. For example, kill enemies, communicate, etc. And it has 21 different cells and 2 protein forces. These cells have up to 4 different jobs. Let's assign them. Here are the interactions. Now, let's make this understandable. First of all, let's add colors to the jobs. Now, let's illustrate the cells. The central color represents the main job of the cell, while the surrounding ones represent secondary duties. Now the immune system looks like this. Now the interactions. Isn't this complexity just awesome? For this video, we will only talk about these cells and ignore the rest. So what happens in the case of an infection? It's a beautiful day when suddenly a wild rusty nail appears and you cut yourself. The first barrier of the immune system is breached, your skin. Nearby bacteria seize on the opportunity and enter your wound. They start using up the body's resources and double their numbers about every 20 minutes. At first, they fly under the radar, but when a certain bacteria population is reached, they change their behavior and start to damage the body by changing the environment around them. The immune system has to stop them as fast as possible. First of all, your guard cells, known as macrophages, intervene. They are huge cells that guard every border region of the body. Most of the time, they alone can suffocate an attack because they can devour up to 100 intruders each. They swallow the intruder whole and trap it inside a membrane. Then the enemy gets broken down by enzymes and is killed. On top of that, they cause inflammation by ordering the blood vessels to release water into the battlefield, so fighting becomes easier. You notice this as a very mild swelling. When the macrophages fight for too long, they call in heavy backup by releasing messenger proteins that communicate location and urgency. Neutrophils leave their patrol routes in the blood and move to the battlefield. The neutrophils fight so furiously that they kill healthy cells in the process. On top of that, they generate barriers that trap and kill the bacteria. They are indeed so deadly that they evolved to commit suicide after 5 days to prevent them from causing too much damage. If this is not enough to stop the invasion, the brain of the immune system kicks in. The dendritic cell gets active. It reacts to the signals of the soldiers and starts collecting samples from the enemies. They rip them into pieces and present the parts on their outer layer. Now, the dendritic cell makes a crucial decision. Should they call for antivirus forces that eradicate infected body cells or an army of bacteria killers? In this case, antibacteria forces are necessary. It then travels to the closest lymph node in about a day. Here, billions of helper and killer T cells are waiting to be activated. When T cells are born, they go through a difficult and complicated training process, and only a quarter survives. The surviving cells are equipped with a specific setup. And the dendritic cell is on its way looking for a helper T cell with a setup that's just right. It's looking for a helper T cell that can bind to the parts of the intruders which the dendritic cell has presented on its membrane. When it finally finds one, a chain reaction takes place. The helper T cell is activated. It quickly duplicates thousands of times. Some become memory T cells that stay in the lymph node and will make you practically immune against this enemy. Some travel to the field of battle to help out. And the third group goes on to travel to the center of the lymph node to activate a very powerful weapons factory. Like the T cells, they're born with a specific setup. And when a B cell and a T cell with the same setup meet, hell breaks loose. The B cell duplicates rapidly and starts producing millions of little weapons. They work so hard that they would literally die from exhaustion very fast. Here, helper T cells play another important role. They stimulate the hard-working factories and tell them, "Don't die yet, we still need you. Keep going." This also ensures that the factories die if the infection is over, so the body doesn't waste energy or hurt itself. But what is produced by the B cells? You've heard of them, of course, antibodies. Little proteins that are engineered to bind to the surface of the specific intruder. There are even different kinds of antibodies that have slightly different jobs. The helper T cells tell the plasma cells which type is needed the most in this particular invasion. Millions of them flood the blood and saturate the body. Meanwhile, at the site of infection, the situation is getting dire. The intruders have multiplied in number and start hurting the body. Guard and attack cells fight hard, but also die in the process. Helper T cells support them by ordering them to be more aggressive and to stay alive longer. But without help, they can't overwhelm the bacteria. But now the second line of defense arrives. Billions of antibodies flood the battlefield and disable lots of the intruders, rendering them helpless or killing them in the process. They also stun the bacteria and make them an easy target. Their back is built to connect to killer cells, so they can connect and kill the enemy more easily. Macrophages are especially good at gnoming up the bacteria which antibodies have attached to. Now, the balance shifts. In a team effort, the infection is wiped out. At this point, millions of body cells have already died. No big deal, the losses are quickly replenished. Most immune cells are now useless, and without the constant signals, they commit suicide, so as not to waste any resources. But some stay behind, the memory cells. If this enemy is encountered ever again in the future, they will be ready for it and probably kill it before you even notice. This was a very simplified explanation of parts of the immune system at work. Can you imagine how complex this system is? Even at this level, when we ignore so many players and all the chemistry. Life is awfully complicated, but if we take the time to understand it, we always encounter endless wonders and great beauty.
Yeah, so I just love that because it just kind of simplifies and brings things, or not simplifies, shows you how complex the systems are. And I think it's just really amazing when you start to look through that and you start to realize there's probably things that we don't even know about. See, the way that God designed the body, the way the body works is that he tried to simplify some things on there, but it's like there's so much more that we don't even know about. And the thing that I want you to take from that too, when you guys saw the helper T cells and all the cells and all these things fighting and everything, and then you saw these antibodies coming in, you can't fake that stuff. You can't create that stuff. You can't become God and try to make those things out of medicines and vaccines. That just does not work that way. And so that's why when it comes down to really with the immune system, it's so much bigger. It's really so much bigger than just, and not as simple as what they want to make it, thinking that, oh, we're going to be able to build an antibiotic, we're going to be able to build an antiviral, we're going to be able to build some kind of vaccine that's going to reverse this and change this. It's like, no. This is where the body has to be healing at the highest level it possibly can. That's the key with this. The body has to be healing at the highest level that it possibly can. So what I want to take you guys through now is how the body actually works and its connection to what the immune system is and how the body works here. And so the first thing you need to understand and know is that the immune system, 70% of the immune system actually is housed in the gut. And see, I had no clue about this until about 10 years ago. Like nobody ever, I grew up and I never told you guys my story. I had really bad asthma and allergies growing up. So bad that at 7 years old, I had to be rushed to the hospital. They injected me with something. They gave me this inhaler to take home. And I was thankful for it because it allowed me to breathe. But as time went on, I remember growing up taking like Sudafed and Benadryl and all this stuff growing up, trying to help with my symptoms, but nothing was really fixing. In fact, the medicines I took with the inhaler, I remember starting to have headaches when I was in middle school and high school. Headaches so bad that I was taking Tylenol and aspirin like crazy just so I could put my football helmet on, just so I could actually study in study hall. And what ended up happening is I was taking so much Tylenol and aspirin that at 17 years old, I still remember going to the doctor and they diagnosed me with a stomach ulcer. So I was taking ulcer medications at 17 years old. And of course, the more ulcer medications I started taking, it started affecting my digestive system. So fast forward to my third year of University of Iowa, I was 21 years old. I was my third year of pre-med, and everything I had learned from this point, doctors they were telling me that don't ever go to a chiropractor, don't ever refer to a chiropractor. And my academic advisor said to me one day, and it was a godsend because it was some lady that wasn't supposed to be my academic advisor, but my guy left and went to Egypt for some reason or whatever. And so thank God it happened. She said to me, you should go see my chiropractor. And I thought she was crazy because that's what they told us in pre-med, that chiropractors were crazy. And she goes, listen, I go, I don't have neck pain or back pain. Why would I go see your chiropractor? And she says, listen, 99% of chiropractors work with neck pain and back pain, and they're pretty good with it. But there's 1% that work with the healing power that God put inside your body. Your body was designed to heal itself. And if it wasn't able to heal itself, there's a reason why it's not healing itself. And I thought that was super intriguing, but I didn't believe it. But I ended up going to a chiropractor that year. And as I started getting adjusted, what I started noticing is that my asthma allergies went away. My headaches went away. All my issues started going away. And I came off of all 4 of my medications. And the amazing thing is that I noticed that when I first started getting adjusted, I was still getting sick like 2 or 3 weeks out of every single year. And about 5 years into my adjustments, I started noticing, man, I'm only getting sick 7 or 10 days out of a year. And then 10 years into it, I noticed that I was getting sick only maybe like 2 or 3 days. And now here I am 24 years into getting my adjustments. And like literally, if I get sick, typically it's over within a half of a day. Now, by all means, just so you guys know, I'm not saying that chiropractic is going to heal coronavirus and prevent you from that. But what I'm going to teach you guys today is that how do you strengthen your immune system from the inside to make sure that it can work at the highest level that it possibly can? That's the goal of what I want to teach you guys today, okay? And so it starts right here with the gut. The gut, 70% of the immune system is housed in that gut. And if your gut is a mess, then your immune system is a mess. Your thyroid's a mess. All these things become a mess because your body just cannot do what it was built and what it was designed to be able to do. And so as you go through this and start to understand is that we start to think about like symptoms. When you do get sick, you have these fevers, you have coughs, you have sniffles, runny nose, your sinuses are a mess, your eyes water, all these things happen. And what we've been taught since we were little is that when you have these symptoms or problems, we think that they're the problem, and they're actually not the problem. They're actually the symptoms are number one, they're a warning signal to say something's going on inside of here. But number 2, it's also there to make sure that your body's actually trying to heal itself. When it coughs or when you sneeze or when the drip's coming, those things are there trying to get rid of the junk out of your body. The way that God designed it is that your body's supposed to have those things to get rid of the junk along the way. And so people think fevers are a bad thing. So what do fevers actually do? If you look at it and start to look at this, and I was clueless about this until about 20 years ago, I read a book called How to Raise a Healthy Child in Spite of Your Medical Doctor. It's Robert Mendelsohn he was a pediatrician. He was a doctor, medical doctor. And it fascinated me how much he believed in the natural healing power in the body. And all I've been taught up to this point is that when somebody had a fever, you got to take Tylenol, you got to take aspirin, whatever they said, you got to take Motrin, you got to do something to lower the fever, otherwise somebody's going to have problems. And then Mendelsohn taught me, he's like, listen, fevers are actually good. That if you have a virus, fever should go up to 100, 101, 102. Why? Because when the body raises its temperature, it helps the metabolism for your body to build the immune system up to fight against what's going on inside. In fact, if your body, this is how smart your body is and how amazing it is. When it goes up to 103, 104, 105, that means it's a bacterial infection. Okay, I can teach a whole class on fevers. I'm just going to go through this briefly right now. just remember that fevers are actually good. I know you're going to say, well, I heard somebody say that the fever goes too high, my kid's going to become brain dead or seizures or whatever else it is. That's a whole nother topic. If it goes above 105, 106, then you need to start to worry. But they found through research, see, who taught you, think about this, who taught you that fevers cause brain damage? It was Bayer, and they were actually sued for a lot of money and lost, saying that fevers they found that fevers temperature does not denature cells of the body the way that Bayer was claiming it was. They were trying to scare the bejeebas out of you so you would buy their product. So you've got to, and even in this time right now, I'm going to get on soapbox for a second, sorry. But even in this time right now, when people are telling you and trying to scare you, okay, the media and everybody else is trying to scare you, you've got to start to look out and say, why are they telling me this? And how are they making money off of this thing? Who am I listening to, and what are they going to make money off of if I follow this advice? Fevers are actually a good thing for your immune system. It's a warning signal letting you know that something's going wrong, but it's also trying to help your body to be able to heal. There was another research real quick that said that there was a correlation to the more febrile infections. So they called it febrile infection, which means that if you had more fevers and diseases and sicknesses as a kid, the more you had, they said the less likelihood that you would have cancer when you were an adult. So think about that. Well, why would that be? Because if you went through more sicknesses and diseases when you were little and you had fevers and your body overcame it without drugs or without antibiotics, your body became stronger. It's just like your body. If you go to the gym and you work out and you push weights, yes, it's going to be a resistance that it has to go against, and it's going to be hard, but because of that resistance, you're going to build strength, okay? Same thing with the body. The body has to go through. So those of you that are Purelling everything constantly and keeping all the dirt out of your kid's mouth and everything like that, so that's part of the problem with today, is that we've tried to grow up in such a sterile world that our immune systems are shot, and we need to get back to rebuilding those immune systems again the way that they're supposed to do, the way that that it's supposed to be from the inside. So there's stressors all around us right now. The immune system can become stressed very easily. There's physical stress. There's emotional stress. I know none of you guys have emotional stress right now, right? There's environmental stress. There's spiritual stress. There's chemical stress. There's stress in so many different ways. But when your body feels stressed, it turns on the stress hormones. And then your body goes into this thing called a fight or flight. And because your body's trying to get away from the stress. And so fight or flight, like if you see a bear, do you fight or do you flight? And so what happens is that all the body does is focuses all of its energy and all of its ATP and energy and all this stuff on the limbs of your body, on your arms and your legs. Why? Because it's trying to help you flee and get away from the situation. So when you're constantly in this stressor mode, what happens is it pushes energy and intelligence away from the core organs in your body that create health and healing and allow your body to be able to heal from a higher level. And so stress can come in a lot of different ways, but when these physical, chemical, environmental stressors come on, what happens is a lot of times your spine becomes stressed on top of it, and it can cause more long-term effects with the spine. That's why chiropractic during stressful times is a huge and big thing. Here's a quick list. Sorry, it's kind of blurry. One of my friends sent this over to me today. Just a quick list, and some of you guys are watching because of this. What strengthens the immune system and what weakens the immune system. So some of you guys, hopefully you can just take a screenshot of this, and I'm going to go through some of these things here today. Actually, a lot of these things here today. Vitamin C is good. Vitamin D, vitamin A, zinc, garlic, colloidal silver, olive leaf, heat, bone broth, fasting, letting your body, I don't know if you guys know this, but you have this inborn intelligence inside of you that if a deer gets hit by a car and breaks its leg, it'll go nestle down into a burrow, into a hole, and it will sit there for days and days and days on end. And it won't eat a thing, but by fasting, it actually focuses all its energy on that leg to heal to a point where it's good enough where that deer can get back up and put some weight back on it and at least start to move around. That's an innate and born intelligence. What weakens that immune system is low nutrient diet, decrease in vitamins, decrease in trace minerals, amino acids, fatty acids, stress, low sleep, sugar, glucose, all the things that are happening right now. These are the keys. And so what we do and how we build from that is that we want to promote a healthy immune system. We want to take the stressors away. So in Max Living and a Family Healing Chiropractic, here's what we teach. We teach core chiropractic. Nerve system is what controls the systems of your body, okay? Helps you eliminate the stressors, putting the right foods in your body, having the right mindset, exercising and getting oxygen to your body, and of course, decreasing or minimizing as many of the toxins that you possibly can putting into your body. So from a food standpoint, we used to teach our kids early on, we used to teach them food by God, food by man. And so one of my good friends wrote a book called Body by God. And when Ben Lerner wrote that book, it was amazing because we taught our kids when they were really young that, is this a food by God or is this a food by man? And they would be able to look at it and say, oh, well, that's of course a food by man. And so in teaching them that, we could then ask them, now, is that food going to help nourish your body and take care of what it needs to take care of? Or is it going to cause problems? And they knew the answer to this. So understanding the way that God designed this, if you put God food in your body will heal and do what it needs to do with what it can. And so one of the key factors that causes stress to the body is, right? I mean, think about it this way. In your gas tank in your car, you would never put water in there, right? That's not the fuel that it needs. And same thing for the body. You want to put God food into your body that will give it the nutrients that it needs to be able to run. Same type of concept there. Sugar, there's so many studies on the effects of sugar, on the permeability of the cell walls, the function of the body, insulin, all the stress hormones. Sugar actually decreases the immune system. And there's multiple things on it. In fact, sugar feeds, if you guys remember back to high school, when you guys did bacteria strains on a little Petri dish there, that little sponginess at the bottom of the Petri dish, that was what was called agar, or what is called basically sugar. And see, bacteria and viruses and parasites, they need food and they love sugar. In fact, cancer cells love sugar. And so when you have lots of sugar in your body, it's easier for them to be able to remember how we said before, is that, and as some of you guys maybe watched the other day, I talked about a green pasture and a garbage dump. That if you have a garbage dump, it attracts the maggots and flies and buzzards and rats and rodents and everything else. But if you have a green pasture, it doesn't attract those things. But what will happen is if the flies and rodents and buzzards come over here to the green pasture, they're gonna be like, there's nothing there for us. When you put sugar in, it's like that garbage dump over here. And what happens is you can look at that garbage dump and think, man, I'd like to get rid of those rats and those maggots and those flies. And if you put pesticides on those things and shot the buzzards out of the sky and poison the rats, you could kill them off, but guess what's going to come back again? And that's the same thing what medicine does to your body. You can take all the antivirals that you want. You can take all the vaccines that you want, but it doesn't create natural immunity, doesn't create a stronger body from the inside. And so cutting sugar is a big key to making sure that your body's not that garbage dump or that breeding ground for sickness and disease. And so one of the key plans that we talk about, especially people when they come in with cancers, heart disease, diabetes, people that have massive healing issues, we put them on what's called the Max Living Advanced Plan. Now, if you don't know what that is, you can email me. Dr. Allison's got the email going below here, docsoup@gmail. Direct message us on this Facebook or YouTube, whatever it is, you can get a hold of us. But the Max Living Advanced Plan is God foods and putting them into the right proportions to decrease the amount of sugar in your body and give you the right amount of fats, right amount of proteins. It's not a fad diet. It's a way of living. It's how the body can function at a high level on a regular basis is what we're looking for. And so you guys have probably heard about this, elderberry. It's everywhere. People are making syrups and selling it to you now. And that's fine. And this has been around for years and years and years. These are high antioxidants. They've been around for a long time. They've used them in hundreds of years ago to treat infections along the way. So putting elderberry seed, now here's what I want you guys to remember as I talk about supplements and nutrition and everything. If you put elderberry in a corpse, it does nothing to heal that body. See, elderberry helps support the body to be able to heal itself. It is not a magic potion. It is not. There's no such thing as a magic drug, a magic potion. What you need to do is put things in your body that will actually support the healing for the body itself. So elderberry is one of those things that's high antioxidants. How do you know if it has high antioxidants? Typically, if it has lots of strong colors to it, it's typically really high in antioxidants. Garlic is another one that's been used for hundreds and hundreds of years to be able to help for healing infections and getting the body to boost the immune system. And so one of the things that they found through a study is that if you have garlic, the higher levels of garlic, it decreases illness risk by 63%. Garlic also increases the duration of the longevity of that illness too. So it actually, not only does it decrease the chance of you getting sickness and disease. Now, again, I'm not telling you that garlic's going to heal you of coronavirus. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that if you put this stuff in your body, it's going to help your own body support its own systems. Again, we can freak out about everything that's outside of us, or we can take care of what we can take care of, which is inside of us and what God gave us. That's what it's all about, is supporting your body from the inside. Again, colorful fruits, citrus fruits especially. These things have high antioxidants. They help for production, decreases effectiveness of what actually increases the effectiveness of your white blood cells in your body, which is huge. It helps fight infections. It also, fruits actually help the lungs heal faster. So talk about making sure that your lungs are working well during this time, especially with a virus that's going to attack the body and can actually have some effects on your lungs as well. So I totally recommend that you guys get this in food form. All these supplements, all these things in food form. But here's the key. Some of you guys just cannot get that amount of food in your body. And a lot of our soils are depleted. So even when you're eating an orange, I heard somebody say one time that if you ate a peach 40 years ago, the value of the nutrients inside of it were so strong that today you would have to eat about 30 or 40 peaches to get the same nutrient value that you did back then. I don't know how true that is, but it's a huge piece of this puzzle, is that some of our foods are depleted. And that's why you always want to buy locally grown, organic. I know some of you guys are going to be like, yeah, but it's more expensive. I get it. This is a great way to make sure that you're getting the supplements. So when people ask me the question, how do I get, or what supplements should I take? These are the list. This is it. And this is all the things I just talked about in food form. This is the way to get it. If you actually text immune to this number, you'll get sent to our store, and we're actually doing a special tonight for you for this bundle. So if you want to purchase this, it will actually deliver it straight to your house. Okay. And so that way you don't have to even leave the house. Hope you guys are still leaving the house to get some sunshine, to get some vitamin D. But these things will actually help you get the nutrients that you need. And individually, these things, and I don't really have to go through it. I'll kind of go through it pretty quickly here. The vitamin D3 with probiotics, you want to get your D, actually vitamin D from the sun, the sunlight vitamin, but D3 seems to be the one that with the probiotics, with the mix that we have, helps the body support the immune system from the inside. Of course, you guys know we just talked about vitamin C. Vitamin C is huge. Some of the reports out of China early were that the ones that recovered faster, they were doing high dosage of vitamin C IV. So again, this is not IV form, but getting vitamin C into your body on a regular basis now helps support your immune system. They're finding that out. High doses of vitamin C actually help support that immune system along the way. Probiotics. You guys saw in the vitamin D, there's a probiotic in it. This is 10 of the best quality probiotics. They actually are long lasting. They release later. So what it does is actually helps heal the digestive system. Remember we talked about the gut? Some of the probiotics you take will actually be burned up or taken up or consumed at the top of your digestive system. These are long lasting, and they'll get to the lower part of the GI tract, easy for me to say, digestive system. And what that does is it allows your body, your gut to heal so it can actually become stronger and build the immune system, obviously from the inside, like we're trying to do on a regular basis. The garlic and parsley oil, why they put parsley oil in it is because it actually helps the body absorb it a lot faster. That's why they put the garlic with it. The parsley oil with it, the blend. It actually helps improve healing from the inside and wound healing, and helps boosting the immune system. You guys have also probably heard this a lot lately too, is that you guys have heard of turmeric and curcumin. That it's actually the Daily Defense has those properties in it. And it actually helps with antioxidant levels, helps boost the immune system, helps the digestive tract. Again, this is something, these 5 are kind of the top 5 that I would say. Now, you can go to our store, and if you don't want to do the bundle, if you just want to get 1 or 2 of those things, you can actually click through the store and actually get these things too. So if you don't want to do the whole bundle, but I wanted to cover that because that's a big amount of questions that I'm getting right now, is how do I protect my family? What are some of the supplements that we can take on a day-to-day basis? The immunity perspective, we actually have a whole perspective on it, that there's the 5 essentials and what you can start doing with it. I've covered it here basically, but if you want more information about that, text consult. I'm going to offer you guys in a second. I'm going to talk about the nerve system and offer you an opportunity to be able to come into the office. Typically, our office visits could be hundreds of dollars for the exams, the consults, the x-rays, and everything. I'm doing it tonight for $40. So if you text the word consult to this number, 704-540-0055, you can actually get a consultation in our office. We have some times, if you're worried about people, we actually will set aside times outside of times, or I can even do we can even do a computer or FaceTime or whatever you want to do a consult as well. Whatever we need to do to help you guys right now, whatever makes you feel safe and comfortable. We are cleaning the heck out of our office constantly. We're washing our hands constantly. We're taking measures put out there by the CDC and our state board to make sure that we make it an environment that you can come and trust. And so put consult, text the word consult if you want to come get checked up in the office. I'm going to talk a little bit more about this in a second. Oxygen and exercise is part of one of the 5 essentials that we teach on a regular basis. Here's one of the keys I want to help you guys understand is that we need to move. Our bodies were built to move. We are supposed to move on a very regular basis. And so what happens is that we've got to get outdoors. And this drives me crazy right now, is that they're closing down parks. They closed down Dogwood Park down their street from us. I'm like, during this time that you're quarantining people and telling them to stay away from things, I understand it. I kind of understand it. I kind of get it. I'm kind of skeptical. But why are you closing down and telling people to not go outside? Because that's not a good thing, because people need to constantly still be getting outside and getting sun on their body, getting vitamin D, getting exercise outside, because that's crucial for the body to be able to heal. One of the things that happens with exercise too is that it helps flush out bacteria and viruses. It increases your body temperature, which helps healing. It also creates lean muscle mass. Okay, lean muscle mass allows your body to be able to have more oxygen in it. And see, sickness and disease and cancers cannot survive in an oxygenated body. It's when you start to deplete yourself of oxygen that's where sickness and disease and the body can't heal the way that it was designed or supposed to do. Now, you don't need to do a ton of exercising, but you got to do some. And so even if it's just 3 days a week for 12 minutes a day, one of my good friends, Fred Roberto, developed this program. It's called Max T3. He's down in Atlanta. Him and his wife, Kim, they're amazing. They're just mentors of mine and friends of mine. They're amazing. But he built this whole thing, Max T3, that you can actually get it for your computer or for your phone. And I think it's like $20 or something like that. If you want to know more about Max T3, just text us at the number for Max T3. We can send you a link of how to be able to order Max T3 for your computer. Basically what it has is it has upper, lower body workouts and core workouts that are 12 minutes long. And what you can do with these things is it's high intensity, they're HIIT workouts, and it's high intensity, and these things kick your butt. And in fact, one of the videos, he has an Olympic judo guy, and this guy is supposed to be an Olympic level athlete, and he can't even keep up with Fred. And I'm just dying, Dr. Fred, and I'm just dying laughing during this thing. But they do 3 levels of this, not to scare you. They have the expert level, they have the moderate level, and then they have the beginner level, which they'll have sometimes pregnant women doing the exercises or somebody that has shoulder or knee problems. They modify for these things. But by doing this, you can actually start doing this stuff in your home and get the exercise that you need on a regular basis. Okay? Just a little bit more. I hope you guys are getting this. Hope you guys are loving this. I can't wait to see some of the questions we have. I can't wait to see some of you guys I know are going to want to come into the office and get checked up this week too. This next essential that we talk about exercise, we talk about nutrition. One of the things we love talking about is mindset. Now with mindset, the one thing I tell my kids, it probably drives them crazy, but I teach this to my doctors too, is that every day is a battle for your mind. I don't know who I stole that from. I don't know where I got it from. But every single day, maybe I invented it. I don't know. If I invented it, great. Somebody tell me if you can't find it anywhere else. Every day is a battle for your mind. And so every day you have to wake up, and it's what do you put in here? That's what you get. And what you focus on is what you get. And without turning into a huge Tony Robbins seminar here right now, but its truth is that I can have, my wife and I can sleep right next to each other and wake up in the same temperature, in the same house, and same everything. And if I wake up with a positive attitude and gratitude and thankfulness and everything, and she wakes up with an attitude worrying about bills and what's going to happen with this infections and closings and school and homeschool, it's going to be a different day. And so really protect what you are putting in your mind every single day. Turn off the news. My pastor preached a sermon years ago or a couple years ago, and it was people take offense to everything today. I mean, how true is that? Like, I can't even imagine some of the negative comments I'm probably going to have when people watch this back. They'll complain about my bad hairline. They'll complain about like something I said, the research I said. It's just like everybody takes offense to something today. But what he said, what Pastor Furtick said, is that just blew me away. He says that the news is not there to inform you anymore. The news is to inflame. The news is there to inflame you. And how true is it is that even politicians, both sides, it's like all inflammatory constantly. And if you put your mind in that stuff constantly, it's creating these stress hormones throughout your body, and it's destroying your joy. And so I'm allowing myself every day to go in and look and see what's going on. But what I made a commitment to is that I've got to get into the thing that's called truth, and that's my prayers. That's my focus. For me, it's our Bible. Also for me in chiropractic, we have these things called the green books. They're right back here. There's a ton of them. Basically, it's what's been truth for 100 years in healing. And this stuff, how the body heals is no different 100 years ago than how it is now. We have more knowledge and we have more terminologies for these things. But at the end of the day, nothing's changed. And so we have to anchor ourselves in truths. And what our rules are for our family and for our life, we have to anchor ourselves in that on a regular basis. Stress can burn your adrenal system. If you're stressed constantly, it'll burn your adrenals, and it'll actually cause that fight or flight, and it'll burn you out, and it'll cause all kinds of decreasing in the immune system. And like I said, it will destroy not only your joy, but it'll destroy your health. And you cannot worry about tomorrow. You can only take care of today, and that's it. So we also need to, on the other side of it, past mind, we need to minimize your toxins, okay? Try to get you away from as many of the chemicals as we possibly can. The chemicals in your food. There's chemicals in the drugs that you're taking, especially. There's chemicals in the stuff that you're using in your lawn. There's chemicals in your cleaning supplies that you guys are using right now. They've scared us so much that people that normally use natural cleaning products are now using the most extreme chemicals in the whole wide world. Oh, but those chemicals are safe for you, right? Okay, how about Roundup? You guys have heard about Roundup, right? You guys have heard about that and how it's destroyed and caused cancer in people, and yet we've used it for the last 30 years. I remember one of my first jobs, you guys are gonna laugh at this, one of my first jobs was riding on called a bean buggy. And I used to ride on soybean fields in the rows, and they gave us a wand with these chemicals of Roundup in it, and we'd spray the weeds so the weeds would die and the soybeans would thrive. Well, I mean, we thought there was no big deal with it. We'd sit there and spray each other with it. And so if you guys ever wonder what's wrong with me, that's what's wrong with me. And plus a lot of other different factors that I won't throw my mom under the bus with right now. I'm just kidding, Mom, if you're listening. Okay, so minimize your toxins as much as you possibly can on a regular basis. Yes, proper hand washing, using and reducing, it helps reduce, they found through research, helps reduce respiratory illness by 20% and digestive illness, diarrhea illness by 30%. Soap and water, 20 seconds, use your favorite song. I use Baby Got Back. I don't know if that's proper, but I use it and I wash my hands to that. So, but be smart about the chemicals. I get that the CDC in our offices are telling us to use chemicals. That's what can kill viruses and everything like that. But one thing I yelled at my mom with recently, like her and my stepdad don't leave the house very often. And she's constantly putting these toxic chemicals. I'm like, if the virus doesn't kill you, those chemicals are going to kill you. And so at least try to minimize the amount of time that you could possibly use and try to eliminate as much of the chemicals, not only that you're putting from the outside on you, but also from the inside. And then, of course, the last essential is chiropractic and the nerve system, okay? So I want you guys to not read into this at all. I'm not telling you to get adjusted so you don't ever get the coronavirus. NC State Board, if you're listening to me, I'm not saying that. I'm also not saying that chiropractic helps boost your immune system. But what I am saying is that research has shown, this guy did a research on cancer patients and on normal patients, on chiropractic patients. What he found is in the control group, somebody that did not get adjusted ever, and patients that got chiropractic adjustments on a regular basis, okay? their immune system was 200% greater after 5 years of getting regular chiropractic care. Now, what does that mean? Think about it for yourself. Somebody that's not getting chiropractic adjustments, their immune system is 200% lower than this person. Why would that be? Well, a couple things. When you get adjusted and your nerve system's working good, and I'm going to show you guys how that works here in a second, okay? When that nerve system works good, okay, this is what's key. You're probably also making a lot better choices, not just from a nerve system standpoint. A lot of times patients that come into our office are also eating better, exercising better, more active. There's probably a lot of factors that go along with this. The second thing they found in this is that they did a cancer patients, they measured their immune system too. And they found that the chiropractic group, people that have been under regular maintenance chiropractic care for over 5 years, that their immune system was actually 400% stronger. Again, I'm not saying that chiropractic boosts your immune system, but what it does is living this lifestyle where you take care of what God gave us. Oh my gosh, of course it works better, right? The body's supposed to work better if you do the things that it was designed to do. They talk about this thing called biopsychology right now. And this is, I talked about this in a previous one a couple days ago, but really the scientific study of the brain and the neurotransmitters in here, they're actually connecting it to the spine and the nerve system. Heidi Havoc, a researcher in New Zealand, she actually did this research where she found that if you have stress in this part of your spine right here, that these muscles are the ears and eyes for your brain, especially your prefrontal cortex, that if these muscles here are stressed, they actually cause these neurotransmitters to actually become less neuroplastic, which means they can't adapt as much. But when they're relaxed and you don't have stress and your spinal column is working properly, what they found is that it actually does exactly, it becomes more neuroplastic and people start to feel better, feel lighter, more relaxed, have better clarity, less depression, less anxiety, higher immune system. They found all these things that are tied to having a properly functioning and aligned spine here, especially at the top of the spine. One of the things that I thought was fascinating about this, and there's no research with this, but what this is just clinically what I've seen in 20 years in my office, is that when people come in and get their adjustment, whether it's neck pain, back pain, headaches, sinus allergy stuff, it's fascinating to me that when they get adjusted for the very first time and they come back the next day or the day after, I'll ask them, I'll be like, hey, look, what did you notice? Were you sore? What's going on? And they're like, oh my gosh, my sinus is drained. I didn't even know I had sinus problems. Oh my gosh, I had more clarity. I slept better. I felt lighter. I could think more clear. These are the type of things that we see even before the neck and back pain go away because of the connection to the nerve system and how the connection to the muscles and the nerve system connect to the brain as well. So it's pretty fascinating to me what I see when you start to talk about the connection of the nerve system and the brain. So here's the key, and I want you guys to kind of just look at me for a second. I'll try to get my screen a little bit bigger here for a second. So one thing you need to know about the human body, this is how it's designed, okay? Your brain and spinal cord control every function you have. So for you to hear me, for you to see me, for your heart to beat, for your lungs to breathe, even for like a cut to heal on your leg, your brain has to send messages down through the spinal cord, out the nerves to all your organ cells and tissues. If your spine's in proper alignment, the nerves can communicate perfectly. If I take the nerve that goes to your heart and I cut that nerve, the heart's going to do what? It's going to die. See, we don't see cut nerves in our office, but what we see is people when they have stress to their spine, emotional stress, physical stress, chemical stress, that stress is put onto the spine, and over time it can cause degeneration, arthritis, decay, damage to the spine where the spine will go out of its alignment. When the spine goes out of its alignment, it will start to choke down on the nerves or put pressure on it or affect the neurotransmitters and how it can communicate. When that happens, here's what the body starts to do. The brain and spinal cord start to go through and cannot communicate the way that it's supposed to communicate. When it can't communicate, here's what I want you guys to know, is that the warning signals that start to show up are things like what you're seeing on the screen right now. Things like headaches, digestive problems, menstrual cycle issues, immune system issues, neck pain, dizziness, fatigue, acid reflux, food intolerance. These symptoms, again, like I said at the beginning, symptoms are your warning signals. Symptoms are not your problem. See, here's the thing. In our country right now, that our medical model is all about getting rid of your symptoms. So if you get COVID-19, okay, coronavirus, if you get it, their key component is to try to take and help you with your symptoms. And so the key, though, is that you've got to get the body to be able to heal itself. That's the only way for you to overcome stuff. And so same thing when it comes to all these symptoms that you're seeing on here. These are your warning signals. It's kind of like if you get in your car right now, if you get in your car and your oil light's on, if that oil light's on, the light itself, it's your friend. It's not your problem. The oil light itself is your body, is your car trying to tell you something's wrong with the oil. And now if you took a piece of black tape and put it over top of that oil light to cover it up so you couldn't see it anymore, what's going to happen is that your car is going to break down or blow up. Now, I know you guys are laughing because you'd never do that to your car, but here's what happens is that if you did, you'd never do that to your car because you know it's going to cost you way more money and time. But what we've been brainwashed to think and we've been lied to is if you have a headache, take a drug for it. If you have neck pain, take a drug for it. If you have dizziness, take a drug for it. Acid reflux, take a drug for it. But the thing is, your body's trying to warn you that something's breaking down. And when you kick the can further down the road, sickness and disease starts to come in. And so the only true way to know if these symptoms are causing a problem, you have to find out, is there something with the integrity of my spine not working or not doing what it's supposed to do? The best way to do that testing is to do what we do is an exam, consultation, and x-rays in our office. Now, if you go to the hospital, which they don't want you there right now anyway, so if you have aches and pains and problems, they do not want you there for this right now. They're trying to save space and room in case there is an outbreak. What I've seen from pictures lately, though, with the hospitals around here, they're not full yet. In fact, they're quite empty, and a lot of other places are quite empty as well. Okay, so they're not there yet, and I don't know if they're going to be full. We'll find out, right? But here's the thing: if you have these symptoms, you went to a doctor's office or to the emergency room, and they did a consultation. If they did a posture exam, if they did range of motion, a computerized nerve scan to see what's going on with your nerve system on the inside, and if they did x-rays with you, full spine x-rays, top to bottom, it would be probably, I don't know, put a number down there, maybe $500 to $1,000, right? I don't know how much it would be. Okay. But if you guys want to get that checked up the best way, and at the end of the day, if they did all those things with you, they're still going to give you something that's going to take care of these symptoms here. That's how they do it. They're still going to give you a drug or a pill or a shot or physical therapy that will hide the symptoms here, but do not actually take care of the cause of the problem. And so to get that checkup in our office, typically it would cost hundreds and hundreds of dollars. We're actually doing it for $40, $40. If you, like I said, we are lighter than normal right now, but we still have a lot of people coming in and out. So don't be alarmed. If you want to be seen outside of those hours, fine. If you want to be seen during those hours, great, because we will find a spot and time where we can just put you in your room. I'll do the checkup on you. We'll find out exactly what's going on, how we can help you. All you got to do right now, though, to get that appointment is text consult to the number that you see below, 704-540-0055. If you want that appointment for you, great. If you want it for your whole family, we'll do it for $40 a person. Let's check and see. We see a lot of kids in our office. Why? Because we know that kids need to have their spine and their nerve system checked up as well. Let me show you guys how this works, because this is huge. Is that if you see the x-rays here, this is the difference between us and most chiropractic offices. And I'll try to make this larger so you guys actually can see this a little bit better. This is Jen. She came into my office years ago. And what happened is the picture on the left here, that's Jen when she first came in. Now, I don't know if you can see this. I'll try to use my cursor for this so you guys can actually see it. So here's what's happening here, is that this is her jaw over here. This is the back of the head over here. And this is the curve in her spine. It's supposed to actually come in this direction. It's supposed to be a banana facing this way. And she's at a -6 degrees here. And she came into my office with immune system problems, but her biggest thing was massive migraine headaches. And she'd had them since 9 years old. The headaches were so severe. She'd been to every doctor. She'd been to multiple chiropractors. They took multiple x-rays. They tried many, many different drugs. By the end of it all, she was on $1,000 a month worth of medications that weren't even touching her migraine headaches. She couldn't hold a job because the job that she kept getting fired from because she couldn't stay employed because she couldn't stay there. And so what ended up happening is, and you guys can actually see this, is we started adjusting her. After about 2 weeks of adjusting her, her migraine headaches went away. But what was different about us and what we did, and we taught her stretches, exercises, how to change her lifestyle, how to eat differently, how to exercise, but also how to start to carry herself when she's sleeping, when she's at work. We created this whole program for her that allowed her to develop on the right-hand side in 3 months' time. Her spine moved from a phase 2 of degeneration to almost a textbook normal spine within a short amount of time. By taking that pressure off her spinal cord and her nerve system, her brain was able to communicate, her body was able to start healing and doing what it's supposed to do. Now, this is the easiest way right here, what you're seeing on the screen. By taking the exam and consult the x-rays, this is the easiest way for us to find out. So if you're here in Charlotte, make sure that you guys come get checked up, text consult to this number. Now, listen, if you have a friend or family member, and some of you guys, I know you guys are patient. I see you guys chiming in. Some of you guys are patient. You say you've been trying to get your pastor here. You've been trying to get your brother, your sister. What you do is just tag them or send them this. If you're on YouTube, send them this link. If you're on Facebook, tag them down below or send them this link. That way they can watch this thing for themselves and they can make up their own mind of why they should come in and get checked up. Again, like I said, we have spaces available this week that we can actually get you checked up. That $40 does exist for this week only, but come do it. Text consult to the number and you'll get checked up. Now, last one here. Actually, I got a couple more slides after this, but this is the last one. This is Timmy. Timmy came to me, 4 years old. His mom had brought her to me because she had heard one of her best friends had come to the office and said, you've got to get Timmy there right away. Timmy was suffering from an autoimmune disease. They'd spent a couple $100,000 in one hospital, another $100,000 in another hospital, and they did all these treatments. At the end of the day, they said, we think your son's got about 3 months left to live. Give him these steroids. There's nothing more we can do for him. And so one of her mom's best friends said, hey, you know what? I don't know why, but maybe you should go check out this chiropractor. And they said, how is chiropractic going to reverse something that medical doctors can't reverse? And the mom's best friend said, hey, listen, what this chiropractor in this office does is they really work on supporting the body's own natural ability to heal itself from the inside. And that's what we're always looking for. So you can see on Timmy's spine right here, the spine that's supposed to be curved, it's almost flat, straight up and down. And when he came in back in 2005, and so what happened is we started adjusting him, and they were in disbelief. And I just said, hey, look, I don't know what's going to happen, but your son's got 3 months left to live. We've got to get this pressure off his nervous system. We've got to let his brain communicate with his body to be able to control and communicate the way that it's supposed to communicate. And so we started adjusting him, and within about 3 weeks, the rash on his body had completely went away. He was off all of his steroids. Within about 4 or 5 weeks, never had another issue. The kid's like 18, 19 years old, driving a car. Last I heard, they're still going to the chiropractor. They're eating healthier foods on a more regular basis. Life as they know it is back to the point where it's supposed to be. So again, just in closing here, I know some of you guys might have questions. Shoot me an email if you have questions. Dr. Allison will put that up there as well. But what I want you guys to know is that my whole goal in doing this is just to make sure that you guys become more informed. I love doing the dinners that we typically do. I love being in person. I'd rather be in person because that way you guys can ask questions back and forth. But if you want to ask questions, email me down below. If you guys want to know about the immune bundle, if you guys want to know more about how to get the supplements delivered directly to your door and what we're recommending right now, here's a perfect thing for you right now. It's just text the word immune. If you text that, does not mean that you're buying something yet, okay? All it does is it takes you to our store so you can get the resources that you possibly need. Again, if you're in Charlotte or if you know somebody in Charlotte, text them this link so they can watch it for themselves, and they can actually set up an appointment in our office. That just text the word consult to this number, 704-540-0054 for a consult. This is the last thing I want to read you guys. This is from a mentor of mine. And again, I'm praying for you and your families. I'm praying for this country. We need to continue to pray for those things. Make smart decisions. Start to think for yourself. Stop watching the news. Stop watching the hoopla. Yes, take precautions, social distancing, all that stuff that we're going to look back and we're going to be like, how crazy was that? But thank God we got through it, because you know God's going to get us through this always. But I want to read this is from one of my mentors. And I read this today because it came from one of his mentors. One of my mentors, Dr. Christopher Kent. When I first became a chiropractor, I started listening to his back then it was cassette tapes, and then it turned into CDs, and now it's MP3s, and now it's whatever. It comes through the air somehow. So there's four concepts for a chiropractor. He says, number one, the body. So listen to this closely. Number one, the body is self-healing mechanism. Cut your finger, it heals. Cut a corpse finger, it doesn't heal. Life heals. So your body heals. Your body knows how to heal. Understand that your body knows how to heal. Number two, once you understand that the body is self-healing, number two, the nerve system is the master system of the body. Every aspect of the human experience is processed through the nerve system. So how you feel, the emotions you have, your immune system, everything is completely processed through the master system, which is your nervous system. Number 3, that when, let me get my fingers in the screen here. Gosh, how can I go that way? Okay, when there's interference with the function of the nerve system, not only can it compromise your physical well-being, but it can also have a psycho-emotional consequence because it distorts your perception of the world and limits your ability to respond to the environment, okay? When this happens to a significant number of people in society, you have a sick society. So basically what he's saying is that when you start to have interference with the way that God designed your body, that's when you start to have problems, okay? So think about it this way. If you take a plant and you turn it away from the light, what does it do? It responds, okay? But if you block the light to it, that plant's gonna die. Same thing with the interference with the nerve system. The adaptability of the body is communicated through the nerve system. So number 4, what he said is that 4, he says, what I do as a chiropractor is locate and correct the cause of that interference. And I'm gonna close with this. We've said it for years in chiropractic, and I love this saying constantly, I love this, is that God needs no help, just no interference. God doesn't need our help. He just needs us to stop screwing it up. And so when you go to fight this stuff that's going on right there right now, when you boost your immune system, what you want to do is make sure that you take care of what's on the inside and what's up here. Listen, I love you guys. I went exactly 60 minutes, which is surprising to me. I know Dr. Allison wanted me to go shorter, always does. And so, but I want you guys to know this, is that I'm here for you. Ask me questions, send comments, statements. I don't care. Even if it's bad statements, comments, I will help you walk through this. I just want to help you guys understand that your body was built to heal itself. If you need anything from us, we're here. Make sure you go share this link with as many people as you possibly can, because people need to hear the truth in this time where there's a lot of garbage. Love you guys. Have a blessed one. Thanks, Dr. Allison. Thanks, Keisha.